Okay, this is part 2 of how to build muscle. If you didn't see part 1, you should watch part 1. It's more like an introduction type thing, so that this one can be more meaty, because like the introduction, it's just something you only need to hear once, but this is the meat. This is the meat of it. Okay, 5 things that build muscle: testosterone, calories, protein, HGH, which is human growth hormone, and IGF, which is insulin growth factor. Okay. Now, we'll just do this in order. Testosterone. The reason testosterone is on the top of the list is because testosterone is how you build muscle. The other ones aren't nearly as important as testosterone. In fact, we've all heard of steroids, like illegal steroids. That's what steroids are. How they say if you use steroids, it'll shut your testicles down. Okay, your testicles are the reason a man has more testosterone than a woman is because his testicles don't make sperm. Testicles make testosterone. Okay, so the reason they say steroids can shut your testicles down and they can shrink up is because, and that's why steroids are illegal, is because steroids is injecting testosterone directly into your body. And your testicles are supposed to make testosterone for your body. So basically, you're doing the job for your testicles. And not only are you doing your testicles' job, but you're doing a better job than your testicles can do. So your testicles just say, they go, fine, see if I care, and they just shut down. And then that's why it's bad for a man's body. Okay? So that's why the legal, you go to GNC. You know what GNC is, I hope, by now. The store that sells protein supplements and stuff for bodybuilders. If you go there and say, yeah, I want some testosterone, they'll say, well, testosterone, it's illegal. That's what they might not know that, actually. But it's illegal. You can't buy testosterone because that's what steroids are. You can get a prescription from a doctor for a number of different illnesses and reasons. That's steroids. You can get them, from a doctor with a prescription, but you can't just buy. So the stuff that's there you'll be. But I've seen all these testosterone themed products in GNC. Those are testosterone boosters. So what those do is those boost your testicles' ability to make testosterone. So those don't do the work for your testicles. They just boost your testicles to do the job that they just boost your testicles to do the job that they do. See the difference? So it doesn't shut down your testicles. So therefore it's not as bad for your body. See? So what product do I recommend? And of course, I've tried them all. I would say don't go to GNC for the testosterone. I would say go to a health food store and buy. You can get these like lotions, these testosterone lotions, and you rub it like in your armpit and behind your knees, and that's how I think you should do it. That's what really worked for me. Like, it worked significantly better than the other stuff, okay? You'll read some things, and there's more studies to show creatine boosts testosterone. Then you research creatine, and that's not even really what it's supposed to do. But it really just aids everything along, and it's just like, there's just a lot of, they're trying to make money. It's a lot of wimpy attempts because everything that really works is illegal, kind of, So the best thing you can do is get a testosterone cream. And I don't know if they sell those at GNC. Just go to a health food store and ask them if they have a testosterone cream. It might look like a little deodorant bottle thing, or it might look like a little lotion thing. Just whatever they have, and follow the instructions on that. Okay. You might want to do like 3-month cycles. Like go do that for 3 months and then go off on it for a month and go back on it for 3 months. So Do you know who Joe Weider and Ben Weider is? They're the famous people that made Muscle and Fitness magazine and some of the first protein supplements. One of the big contributions that they made was what's called the Weider principle in bodybuilding. Any bodybuilders heard of the Weider principle? The Weider principle is to keep your body guessing. So even if something works, like a testosterone cream or something, you don't just do, when you find something that works, you don't just do that over and over again forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, exactly the same way. You switch things up to keep your body guessing in your diet and in your workout. You don't do exactly the same thing. Schwarzenegger says he built his biceps. He's famous for his biceps. He says he built his biceps by doing the exact same workout. I think Schwarzenegger has done the exact same workout on his biceps from day one, and probably still does the same thing. It's kind of a frustrating subject. There's always, like, there's lots of contradictions and different opinions and stuff, but I would recommend the Weider principle. Okay, so just do like cycles of testosterone. Next, calories. Yeah, that's something that might get overlooked. Keeping hydrated is always going to be important, by the way. That should go without saying. But calories is kind of like that too. It's if you do everything else, if you do all the 4 other things, but you're not eating enough calories, that's like not putting gas in the car. It takes calories to build muscle. So what bodybuilders do is, you'll hear them talk about the on season and the off season. The on season, they're putting muscle on. The off season, they're putting muscle on. Then pre-competition, they'll burn a bunch of fat. The keto diet, short for ketosis. Bodybuilders have known about ketosis since at least the 60s in my studies, probably since before that, but I can vouch for the 60s in my studies. And the bodybuilders in the 60s knew what ketosis was. They believed it was bad for you. Schwarzenegger was very against it in the 60s because there's other ways to do it. It's just harder work. But nowadays, ketosis the keto diet's been this big thing. The keto diet is a big thing. I have stuff on it. I have lots of information on it on my YouTube channel, on both my YouTube channels. Just study my diets. I go over that a lot. The keto diet has its place, okay? It's the ultimate way to burn muscle, but it's not something you don't want to live the rest of your life on the keto diet. It's just something you want to do more like a bodybuilder, to take off some of the layers of fat, to reveal more ripples and better muscles. So it's kind of like, that's relevant to calories, So like when you're trying to build muscle, you'll eat more calories, but don't overdo it, because if you overdo it, then you're just gonna have more work when you're trying to burn the fat off, But the fastest, best way to build muscle is gonna include some fat along with it, just because you need those calories to do that, and then later you can burn that fat off. See how that works? So calories are a big deal. So when it comes to the question, how many calories and how much protein, now that's where things get extra ugly in this world, because people are trying to sell you protein supplements and stuff, okay? And that's where Dr. Colombo comes in. I'm just going to kind of buzz through these really quick, and we'll talk about the ultimate bodybuilder, Dr. Franco Colombo, who recently passed away, who's the greatest nutritionist and fitness person that's ever lived. Okay, next is protein. So I'll go over protein and calories in more detail when I talk about Colombo. Protein. What the books, the people selling you supplements say is 1 gram of protein for every pound of body mass. So, so if you weigh, 150 pounds, then every day you need 150 grams of protein. That's wrong. That's way wrong. So I'm going to skip over that and just because we'll go over that with Dr. Colombo. HGH, human growth hormone. This is a good one. This is kind of like the testosterone cream. You can try to find it in a place like GNC, but you can buy human growth hormone. I would recommend that you don't try in a store. You might find you find them every once in a while in stores. Sometimes you find them in pharmacies and in just regular grocery stores and weird places you wouldn't expect. But it's better just to try online. Go online and look up HGH and buy some HGH and put yourself on at least 1 3-month cycle of HGH, human growth hormone. You'll hear people say, no, you don't want a human growth hormone. It's bad for you. Don't do that and this and that. If you're worried about being bad for you, then just do 1 3-month cycle of HGH. Buy 3 months worth and do it for 3 months and then stop. Don't ever do it again. It'll make a difference. It'll add something to you forever and ever. And then you can just research it and after you've tried it, see what you think after you've done 3 months. You might want to do, go a month off and then do another 3-month one after that, or maybe do 3-month cycles with a month in between or something like that, or whatever you do. It's not something that you might not want to be too abusive about it. Some of these things, they only take you so far and then it plateaus, But I'm not really sure. That one's a little bit questionable, I don't really know everything about how bad for you that might be, but I strongly recommend you go on a 3-month cycle of HGH, okay? If you're a professional athlete, do it when it's the off season and give your body enough time to flush it out, or you might have to just look it up and see. It might disqualify you or something like that. I don't know. You might not be able to be on it. Then the last one, IGF, insulin growth factor. That one's just on there so you'll know all the information. Insulin growth factor. I don't know if you can even buy insulin growth factor. That's on the bottom of the list just because it's one of the things that makes you build muscle. It's one of the things. All these things build, whether you're taking it as a supplement, they're all natural. There's naturally only the protein and the calories are not natural. Everything else, the testosterone, you could say, well, it's all natural if you're exercising and eating right, Okay. So I wouldn't worry about the IGF. It feels good to make sure you know everything about the subject, Okay. Now, this book, okay? So what Colombo says, as far as the protein, he says, no, they're just trying to sell you protein, okay? It's not about how many grams of protein. It's about how usable the protein is that you're eating, see? So you don't, like beef. Beef is a bad source of protein. If you look up beef, it'll say beef it's like way more protein than anything else. A bunch of fat, a bunch of everything. You'll be like, wow. And you can buy beef protein supplements, and you'll hear stories about people going on beef diets and blah, blah, blah. But the truth is, beef is not very usable. The beef protein supplements are usable just because you might research it and say, Angie doesn't know what she's talking about. It's because when they've broken it down into a protein supplement, they've removed the fat. And the difference between a usable protein and a not usable protein is the fat, because beef has so much bad fat, a bunch of animal fat in it, that it complicates the digestion and you don't end up using it as much. Whereas eggs, when the scientists decide how usable a protein is, they use a scale of 1 to 10. And number 10 is an egg. That's how they decide that. They found the most usable protein and they called that a 10, and that's the egg. Eggs are the most usable protein for humans, period. Scientific fact, okay? Eggs are the top most useful protein for human beings of the Homo sapien race. Okay, so see, eggs don't have very much fat in it, okay? And then the next one is fish. Again, fish doesn't have very much fat, does it? And then the next one is birds, like chicken and turkey. See, they don't have very much fat. See, and then the next one is, on the bottom is like your porks and your beefs. As far as vegetarian things come after the fish and the chicken. They're not as you can be a vegetarian bodybuilder, but you can't argue that vegetarian protein is as usable as eggs are, or as fish. Okay, so Columbo builds up fish and eggs. Fish, because we've polluted the oceans, it has mercury poisoning in it, and so the scientists recommend you don't eat fish more than 3 times a week. And big fish eat smaller fish, and that makes them have higher mercury levels. So it's better to have, don't buy a big fillet of tuna, because that's a big tuna. Buy a can of tuna, because that's chopped up a bunch of little small tunas. When it comes to fish, small is better because they have lower mercury levels, and then you don't want to eat it more than 3 times a week. So have fish 3 times a week, and have eggs like every day for breakfast or something. Eggs and fish are how you do it, and then have birds. Also. And then almost never have beef, okay? Or pork. Beef or pork are just, you can have them every once in a while because you think it's fun and you think it's delicious or something, but it's not. If you're really serious, it's not a very efficient protein, okay? And so, but Columbo, he doesn't even, like, if you, in this book, he tells you how many grams of protein and how many calories to eat and things like that. And it's such a small number that you'll be like, oh, what the hell? It's just like as if he lives on a completely different planet than all the other nutritionists, okay? But what ends up happening is when you build your diets and stuff and you use his information, you stop counting the calories and the protein, and you just build a diet that uses all the correct principles, that has all the correct components in it, So another thing is, as far as protein supplements, the big thing is, the exception with protein supplements is your body uses them really, really quick. So if you're really like young and you're trying to build a bunch of muscle, before a workout, according to Columbo, grapes, apples, and pears are the best fruit is the best source of energy for a human, okay? Don't use drugs for energy. Don't go buy one of those pre-workouts and get all tweaking and amped and everything. Do things with food and do things with lifestyle, something you can maintain, something sustainable for your life, You're trying to build a better life and do this forever so that you forever have a nice body, not just a really quick body. And then you say, back in the day, it's something you do forever and you'll live that way the rest of your life. So the big difference with Columbo is, then when you say, well, Dr. Columbo, how many vitamins should I take? Now he's like, like 2,500% RSEDA, he recommends lots of vitamin supplements, okay? Vitamins, again, are catalysts. They're not food. Fiber's not food either. Fiber's what your body uses to make poo, so things can go through your system efficiently. But it's not really a food. Your body doesn't eat fiber. It just makes poo out of it. So that's why it's important. So things go through your digestive tract in a healthy way. Vitamins also are not food. Neither is water. Vitamins are a catalyst. That means it helps things do what they need to do. Okay? So for vitamins, I would recommend going to GNC. Go to GNC and just buy whatever vitamin that you think makes sense for you. Talk to the people that work there, experiment, find one that fits in your price range and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, that's where you do it. You're like, okay, GNC, I've avoided you because you're just trying to sell me bullshit, but now I'm here for vitamins. Tell me what you have for me. Go buy their damn vitamins. Quick on vitamins. Organic vitamins they're not going to sell you organic ones, but they might nowadays. Organic vitamins are more usable because they're made out of food. I mean, they're made out of, it's not food, but they're made out of something your body can use because it's organic. Whereas the other vitamins are metal and sometimes can be poisonous. Like, if you're a woman, don't take women's vitamins, unless they're organic, because they have extra iron, and iron, the metal form, the non-organic form, is poisonous. So if you can find an organic multivitamin for bodybuilders that has more in it of everything than other vitamins do, then that would be the one that probably would be the best. Okay, as far as working out. So, the pre-workout mat. Oh, sorry, I messed that up. So pre-workout meal: eat a piece of fruit, have a scoop of protein. Whey protein has the best track record and has the best research on it. Have a scoop of whey protein. And eat an apple. Okay, the apple is your energy source, and the scoop of protein, it's because it's in this case you can take advantage of technology because it's so usable that your body can just use it real quick and absorb it and put it into your system really fast. So that's what you want to do. You just want to hurry up and put that inside of your body really fast. And then while you're working out, if you're really skinny, depending on what body type you are, if you can use all the calories you can get, like it's hard for you to gain weight, then you might drink Gatorade during your workout, Otherwise, just drink water. And then after your workout, eat one serving, buy some jelly beans or gummy bears. And on the package, it'll tell you what one serving is. Eat one serving, according to the back of the package, of jelly beans, gummy bears, angel food cake. The thing is, these things don't have fat. Remember what I told you about fat? Fat complicates digestion and your body doesn't absorb it quickly, okay? So what this does is you're like, oh, that's just pure sugar. That's what you want. Within 30 minutes. If it's been more than 30 minutes since the end of your workout, now it's sugar, it's poisonous, don't put it inside your body, okay? But if it's within 30 minutes, you can hurry up and your body used all this energy, your body's exhausted, you can just rush that in. It rushes that into your body really, really quick. And then have one scoop of protein, which also rushes it in. There's no fat in either of these things. And the technology is it'll just rush right in your body. Don't buy an expensive post-workout thing. Just jelly beans and another scoop of whey protein. So on days you work out, you will have one scoop, but you will have the protein supplements are part of your diet. Columbo would say, no, even still, then they're not. I would recommend, because for one thing, it'll add more protein to your diet. It's kind of like Columbo's right, but he's just borderline wrong at the same time. At least that's what I'm saying, and I'm full of shit. So if you have a scoop of protein, it'll add more protein without adding anything else. So that's, if you're working out, you're burning extra calories and stuff, so you need more. It'll give you more protein without adding anything else, which you don't really want. Ratio is important. Ratio of fat to protein to carbs. You want a bunch of protein and just a little bit of fat and a little bit of carbs. Okay, what that does is then Columbo talks about that. It took him forever to figure that out. He would hang out with professional bodybuilders that are successful. It took him a while to figure out what made someone that's good at the sport different than someone that's bad at the sport, because generally they do the same thing, and that is that they think about the ratio. Okay, so you don't want to eat so much fat that it's anywhere near the amount of protein. So you want your protein to be up really, really high in comparison to your fat and the other thing. And so the only way to really do that, if you design diets and count the calories and count everything up, you'll notice it's kind of hard to do. because things that have protein also have calories and fat with it at the same time. And so it's kind of hard to make that protein weigh more than everything else. So you're having that scoop of protein before the workout because it'll absorb into your body really quick, but also because it'll add a bunch of protein to your diet without adding anything else, and it'll bring that ratio up, which Schwarzenegger calls it your body's a computer. You're telling it what you want it to do. That ratio says, I want you to build muscle and burn fat, and that's what you want to be telling your body because that's what you're trying to do. Okay? And so if you have the body type that you already have plenty of fat on your body, and you really need to be really careful about calories. The general idea with fat is that you're trying to use the calories that's in your fat, so you don't want to eat a bunch of calories because then your body will use them and it won't burn the fat off your body, And so if you look at me, I'm really skinny. Even when I was a bodybuilder, I was a skinny bodybuilder, and endomorph or whatever, I can't remember right now, but these ideas are probably more for young people which haven't become overweight. But if you're an old person that's overweight, this diet you're gonna have to really pick through this diet, and every time I'm telling you to do something that adds just too many calories to your diet, you're just gonna have to take it out. You're probably used to that though. But if you're a young person, which is, I'm assuming you're a young guy that's starting to get fat because your estrogen levels are, you're trying to look sexy for the women, and you're trying to build a better life for yourself, and you can feel your health going down the tube, like everybody that's playing video games all the time and that. I would recommend subscribing to Muscle and Fitness Magazine. It'll give you good tips on foods that boost testosterone, like broccoli and different things. Always be learning more and taking more information in, especially foods that boost testosterone, and add those in, and then things like that, okay? So right now, I'll have to do a part 3 that's going to go a little bit over the workout, because that's part of what Columbo's program is too. He's all, you know what? It's not the food and the supplements that builds muscle. That's lazy. It's hard work, okay? So this is the protein and supplement part. The next part will be the hard work part.